Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Monad in the Morning.
We are live for the 22nd time, but not the last time. We are here every Thursday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and today is a beautiful day. Great to be here, intern. How we feeling?
I'm feeling great. It is a beautiful day. We got like 80 degrees and sunny, live from New York. It's Thursday morning. We love it.
What could be better? And some very confusing information taking the timeline by storm today. I'm sure everyone in the community is hoping for an official statement, which you will not get here, but
you'll get some unofficial statements though. I'm sure we can ramble and chat a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if people have questions about what's been going on the timeline, drop them in. We got to turn that other room down. I can hear myself. I'm getting all confused. Yeah, well, the CoinMarketCap stuff we can chat about in a little bit, but today we do have the pleasure of having my former boss, Dan Metashevsky, head of CMS Holdings, joining the show for today. So let's get some W's in the chat for Dan and Jessup. I think we can pull him in.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Dude, I don't know what the what the hot tea is. Like, what was the what they talk about? Because I'm woefully not caught up.
I mean, we can just address it straight off. There was a like Coin Market Cap put Monad up, and then there's like a launch date on there, which I guess we'll do the unofficial statement. I have no
Oh, so
idea where this date came from.
They Cointelegraph interned you?
They Cointelegraph interned us.
They just decided you're gonna do it. What day did they pick? I'm very curious.
I think they said September 29 or September 30.
That sounds right. I like.
I saw someone screenshotted September 29. Then when I clicked on the link, it said September 30. So I think they're just moving it. I think they vastly underestimated how seriously the Monad community would take putting an actual date on the internet. And then like they probably put it up. They're like, yeah, we can fill in some of the details before we say anything about it. And people immediately found it and have just been blowing it up on Twitter.
This is amazing. I mean, did they take it down or did they leave it? Like, is it still there?
It's still. This came about like 30 minutes ago. Like this just happened.
I know. God, I feel like I'm not on the knife's edge of what's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. There's Danny.
Well, congrats.
It's not. This is
big news, dude. Like, what are you doing September 29th now? Should I come to New York?
There's just,
dude, I gotta book a hotel. It's not that far away.
I mean, like I have like dates and stuff in my mind, and I know what a lot of the milestones are into mainnet, and I just like September 29 to me actually has zero meaning.
The problem is nobody listening to this right now believes a word you're saying, because like you're obviously supposed to be spinning counter intel, so like it's very hard. You have an impossible job right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's fine. And if I was in their shoes, maybe I would take the exact same approach. But like, I'm telling you, which is what I would say if I was doing counter intel or if I was being truthful. But genuinely, I have no idea where this date came from.
CoinMarketCap should put a countdown right now. They should put like a rolling. they should do it. They should. If I were them, I would go on right now. Yes, and just like put it on the front page.
Yeah, official statement.
Yeah.
I mean, confirmed.
It's CoinMarketCap. It's not like you have like leverage on them.
What was the Cointelegraph caught it, and then like the block shortly spun up there, and they were like, "Oh, Bitcoin ETF."
No, so are you talking about when the Cointelegraph intern?
Yeah, when the Cointelegraph actually put the news out, and then everyone else covered it.
So the problem was they all right, so they tweeted it, right? Like they said it as fact. And then everyone else started sourcing it, but not saying it was them. So like what happened was like it hit the tape, and then like 5 minutes later, 50 other reporting outlets like put it out, but like no one could figure out if there was a source behind Cointelegraph, right? Like everybody was just like, it was circular. And then like the block put it in, and somebody referenced the block, and then somebody referenced that. So like it just got really unwieldy in about, I don't know, like 15 minutes. And then like eventually they deleted it and took it down, but it didn't matter because like it was already sort of in motion. And it ended up being right, but like I don't know if they were just I tend to think it was just somebody internally fucking around. Like I don't actually think like there was something like nefarious planned with it. But yeah, it just like it got caught so much momentum. I will say this is a good time when like the real news outlets like usually do get it right. Like, and this isn't to like poop on like all the crypto ones, but like Bloomberg never reported it. Like none of the Wall Street Journal, like none of like the major media outlets, they all tried to like source it with the SEC, who like obviously didn't. So they like never sort of like pushed it. But like the crypto media world like went wild with it.
Yeah. And I think that like the same way you get like one baseless claim, but then if everyone is referencing, and then you're like, oh, well, this is just news. I could see from Cointelegraph side, they're like the downside is we lose a little. It's like we're not in the lead anyways on like breaking news in crypto. So like if I have a lead that I'm like 60% sure, like just hammer it, because then if we're first and it is real, then I think it was a mistake, but like they just have looser checks.
That also can end up poorly, and like the SEC comes down and like doesn't investigate. Like you're not dealing with like, oh, like I leaked the Monad timeline, and this isn't to like take away from like your guys' thing, but like if you start like messing with like SEC announcements and like causing market movements, like they will, maybe not in the current administration, but like when they were doing that, they may have been like, now we're nothing will probably happen, but we can come like ask for all your documents, like bother you with like lawyers. Like they could make it annoying for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would not want to be on the receiving end of getting that news wrong. However, I think they go down in history as enshrined as one of the top intern moments of all time across all of crypto, because they did blow out the shorts and we just never went back to where we were.
Yeah.
And then the news turned out to be real. And like Michael Saylor, I think, was maybe throwing them a little bit under the table. But we do, well, to give a little shout out, speaking of market movements, we want to get into that. For anyone who's in the chat, our new format will remain the same for this show, meaning throw questions in the chat. We'll pick some of the best ones and look to ask Dan towards the end of his appearance on the show. If you do have your question selected, you will get a spin to win at the end. We have some pretty awesome prizes, depending on who you ask. Some people think that they are not that awesome, but you know what? You can always stoop down to the haters level. So
yeah, you can't make everyone happy.
yeah.
No, you can't even make half the people happy.
Yeah. You make one person happy per day, you're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Damn, you're talking about market movements there for a sec. One thing that I think is actually on a lot of people's minds after this Ethereum rip is a phrase that you coined, which is the hot ball of money. And for a very long time, this crypto cycle, people have been under the assumption that like the standard rotation was not really at play, right? And when I say the standard rotation, I mean like Bitcoin generally is a leader that goes up first, and then after it goes up for a while, like people kind of flow into Ethereum, and then you get like the large cap alts, and then you get the small cap alts, and that's like the rotation of the hot ball of money. And it happens on a larger scale, and also can happen like intraday, right? So there's like a breakout rip. That seemed like it was dead because ETH BTC has just been getting pounded for like 2 years straight. But now we saw Bitcoin breakout and then Ethereum has been ripping. Do we still think the hot ball of money rotation is at play this year, this cycle?
I think the better way to think about it, and this is like why I think people get caught up in like the specific assets and like how to play. I think the bigger thing is like as like a cycle of sort of speculation goes on, like people will reach further out the risk curve, and they'll either increase their leverage or they'll go to like other assets that like perceivably have like higher beta or can move more. And I think like that's just sort of how things go, right? Like in bear markets, like nobody wants to do anything, like everything sort of bleeds out. Like the smaller cap names like have less liquidity and bleed out more. But like as like investment is a loose word, but like as speculation, let's say, like moves forward, like it starts with like larger things, and then like it slowly, as people get comfortable, they start like buying a little bit off the run stuff, and then like it really just like gets to mania towards the end. Like I think that's true in like equities too a lot of times. Like I don't think this is like a crypto specific sort of like psychological behavior, and because like I think it's just like a psychological behavior, like we don't really ever escape it. So I don't know, that's like my thought on it. I think people's like argument against it, which I kind of had some weight to, is that Bitcoin had become sort of encapsulated within the larger TradFi ecosystem, so that like all those flows were like agnostic to like the other portions of crypto, but like they just figured out ways to bring the other portions of crypto into like TradFi, right? And then like Robinhood is basically crypto and equities now in one package, so it's not like it's hard to like hop from one to the other. So like I also look, like people were figuring out how to like get on Uniswap and trade that like had basically never used crypto at all last cycle. Like if people think there's a way to make money, they'll find a way to like get to the ecosystem. I'm less concerned sort of about like the barriers between like the two sort of worlds as being an actual stopping function. So yeah, I don't know. I still think it is what it is. I just think it's a sort of natural human thing to do. People take more risk as they make more money, which like can make you a fortune, but can also just lead to ruin.
Yeah, you get the Vice City type of blow ups where you go from owning a city to in the hospital in 2 weeks.
Well, this is crypto, right? It happens very, very quickly.
Yeah. One other thing that comes to mind that I think you have like a lot of basically overall market structure perspective. You've been in the crypto space for a very long time. I think 2013 or 2014, working full time and like in kind of trading before that. It seems like a new thing this cycle. Like we had MicroStrategy last cycle, And then a new thing this cycle are these basically treasury companies that are going and listing on the stock exchange, and people can basically just ape in, and it is like a new market structure that we're seeing, and people are going farther and farther out on the risk curve for this, right? I think exactly what you just described is just happening with these companies. There's probably a lot of people listening to this that like have maybe seen, they're like, oh, I saw SBET on my timeline, but I don't really understand what these things are. Is there any chance you could just do like a high level explanation of like, what is this thing that's happening? And then like, why are people doing them now?
Well, they're doing them because people are buying them. So like at the end of the day, like this is all just a function of like market demand. And I think look, MicroStrategy did really well for a lot of people. So then people are like, all right, like how do we replicate this? The core, like, look, these things are all a little bit different sort of in how they're like structured. At the end of the day, there is some core business, but that's largely irrelevant. Like there is like something they did when they were like previously listed, but you take a sort of dead company, you raise a bunch of money for it, you issue equity, and then you buy like the underlying asset that you're like picking, or a basket. Like some of these are multiple ones, but like in SBET's case, they went and bought a bunch of ETH, right? And then those investors have been making a ton of money because like these shares have been trading at a premium. So this whole thing is predicated on the idea that like these stocks trade at a premium, what do they call it, like MNAV, to the underlying asset. So if you have $1 million of Bitcoin, it trades at 1.5, and then you sell the stock, you buy the underlying, you just like keep sort of rotating. That's like the core. Like this whole thing is predicated on the idea that like people are willing to buy this stuff for over par, or somebody is. And that's like driving everything. So as long as people have been willing to do that, like people keep issuing it. And the thing about markets is like if there's demand for something, like they find a way to fill it, especially if there's like a very easy way to bring these things to market. I mean, like we get pitched one of these a day, sort of at this like rate, and there's like a ton of these things like in the pipeline. So it's gonna continue going until like here's how it stops. One of these things opens under MNAV or whatever the hell, like that metric, like they sort of thing, and like everyone loses their shirt, and then they stop. And then like some of the other like lower tier ones start to like trade under, and then like the trade's like done. But until then, it's just gonna like keep happening. As like far as like timing it, I have no idea.
Yeah. So and we saw this happen with GBTC kind of last time around.
Yeah, they're worse though, because like GBTC is at least like a very like it's very small defined like thing that it does, right? Like it buys a Bitcoin and like put it in. Yeah, it was like the closest thing to an ETF we had, but like there was no creation redemption mechanism to like bring it back in line to peg. These companies could just go sell the crypto at any time they want, and they can also just go do the shitty business they did before, right? Like they can go do other things with it. You have a lot more risk because the management teams on these things, which a lot of times like are at least a little bit legacy, can just sort of run wild with them. And it obviously depends on like Saylor, you don't have to worry about because he's pretty clearly like not going to deviate from that path. But if you're funding the 35th like Solana one, like are you sure that management team's not going to just be like, hey, great, you extinguished all of our debt, we can go sell this thing now, make a ton of like cash and go back to running whatever we were doing before. Like, thanks for playing. I don't know. Like these things are risky. I said this when Lester was doing the liquor thing, where it's like a lot of crypto people are meandering into a world where like the rules are harder, they don't know them, and they're like by far the dumbest money at the table. So like I think that's like the big thing to like like look, dude, like these people running these like things like the investment banks and stuff, like they're sharp, like they're gonna make sure they make money, and like I'm positive that there's no way a random guy who made a couple sticks in ETH is like gonna go read all the documents and figure out like where like the pitfalls on all this stuff is. So I think like that's like the other big risk. So I don't know. That's where I'm at.
So we do have I know we actually only had you scheduled until 10:30 here. If you have a little extra time, we have a couple rapid fire questions that would love to throw your way. I don't know.
The one agenda item that we got on Twitter, housing market, hasn't been discussed yet.
I know.
I need some alpha.
So
I'm a renter.
It's tough. I mean, this came up. God, this is like the whole intern should buy a punk or he should buy a house sort of meme. But punks are doing all right. So
they're up.
A couple weeks ago, I would have been able to dunk way harder on you.
I mean, look, houses aren't up 20% on the week.
I mean, is that good? I mean, it's good. I think I don't like the idea that like they move around that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always been a stickler that you should like when you make a good slug of money, you should take some off the table and firm up your like housing situation. And this like apparently just like infuriates an entire cohort of people on the internet. So I like do it very much as a meme now.
Yeah, well, I think there is like this group of people that exist on crypto Twitter that like kind of the right strategy when say you're 25. Kind of the right strategy is to like try to find high upside work. Like you don't really know how much money you're going to have, so it might not make sense to get a house at that point. Like you want to live in the area where most people who are working are living, because you're like trying to increase your potential future earnings. And so like renting in New York and going to network and meet a bunch of people like is probably the right thing to do, especially if you don't know where you want to live yet. By the time you get to like 35 or 40, like most people tend to be doing other things in their life. But for some reason in crypto, like people just tend to stay in that path. And I think that's why a lot of people get infuriated. They're like,
yeah, because they don't want to like look inward and be like, yeah, no, the problem is I'm not 25. Like they just like want to continually like push out their like runway of where they think their life is.
Right. Yeah. I think it maybe one of the reasons it's specific to crypto, or maybe two reasons, is like one, people tend to make a lot of money very quickly in crypto, like different from other industries. So like you can always be like, oh, well, if this idea is right, 1 year from now, my entire life will be different. And you can kind of trick yourself into just staying perpetually in that mode. And then the other is like, oh, well, I work in crypto, so I make decisions that are not traditional. And like finding a wife, having kids, getting a house is traditional. And that like goes against my personality is crypto. So like, I'm actually just going to go to 17 conferences every single year and own nothing and just rip around and buy punks instead of a house. And it's more real than people say.
People do it. It's not a meme. I'd say I don't know. The crypto community, by and large, that I've interacted with and like met, like it's a shocking divorce from like the rest of the world.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, I don't know, it's subjective, but I'd say like there's a lot of good things that come from that too. But then like there are some things that are like, you will probably be happy if you have a significant other and kids, or like most people will be. Like there's just things that maybe you shouldn't you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, basically, if you're like taking contrarian bets around your entire life.
I mean, I don't think there's anything like debatable in that. I think like the crypto people are wrong. I don't think like it's even like, I think it just stands on its face.
I think that's just like the short cycle that you're talking about. Like if you look at everything 1 year at a time, like yeah, you'll never consider, you know, something longer term like that important. But
I think the volatility like seriously breaks people's ability to make like longer term decisions.
And it's funny because the entire thing is predicated on like the 100-year Bitcoin thesis. It's like as empires rise and fall, this is important. And it's like the most long-sighted thing. And they're like, you can't think, if you think more than 18 months in the future, you know, it's just not worth it. So
I will say though, like the crazy sort of like Bitcoin maxi guys that are like, I just buy this and then I don't do it. Like they are probably the closest to reality, even though sometimes they're like tapped in other ways.
Yeah, they'll be like crazy in cults, but they're like, yeah, I think of them as closer to like, I don't know, Amish probably isn't the right word, but like they just like, they start a family, they create their own unit, they like live in a house on farmland and just like stack Bitcoin. They're like, this is what I think is important. And it's actually like
it's not the worst thing. No, but it's, yeah, right. It's like, they're just, nobody can be normal. It's just like, it's so hard. It's like, nobody could just be like, you know, like I live in a regular suburb. I got a couple kids. Like, it's just like, everybody's got to be so extreme.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of my favorite bits. I always take the other side because kind of that was the origin of the bit. But I was talking to Crypto Bobby a couple of weeks ago and was like, in stealth, I'm trying to follow the plan that you and Dan basically have put forward of like, you can do this and also have a decent life. But publicly, I will absolutely still be like, well, this is why you buy a punk. Like, why would I buy a house? I can just rent. You're
not doing enough gloating. You should have like charts of like Case-Shiller index and the punk price. Like this is your time to take the victory lap.
Yeah. Hey, we're up. We're up.
Yeah, you're up. I do have to jet in 2 minutes. Sorry,
Okay.
I only can go till 10:30.
All right. Do we have a question we can? I have one question, but it's kind of more like a specific one. I don't know if we have a good community question.
I didn't pick a community question, but I think this is relevant for the community. If you want to just ramble on it for like a minute or so, Dan, I put out a tweet the other day and was basically looking for people's success stories or horror stories around NFTs last cycle. And it was interesting. A lot of Monad community members just hadn't participated in NFTs last cycle, talking about kind of this short-term crypto mindset that tends to happen when people get into the space. You get dollar signs in the eyeballs. You want to make as much money as possible in the shortest window of time. I guess like for someone who's doesn't really have any trading experience, but is just getting into crypto now, like what advice would you give them?
Yeah. All right. So the biggest thing is like there's not really a barrier to entry to sort of doing anything in crypto, right? Like it's permissionless by nature. So like really just playing around with everything that seems to be sort of the cutting edge, like has generally been like the best sort of advice. Like especially if you don't have like a bankroll and you're like just starting out, like you really just like want to corner some world of whatever is like the newest thing and learn as much about it as possible and then just become like the expert on that. And then like you'll figure out a path from there, right? Like it always opens up. The key is you got to keep like looking because like stuff changes. Like it's not like a static sort of work. Like if you had just like been like, oh, NFTs are the only thing that are ever going to matter, like you would have just like sort of disappeared within a year. You got to like sort of like keep looking where stuff's going. So, I mean, like not to pitch you guys, but like Monad's a great spot, right? Because like it's effectively a clean slate launching apparently September 29th as a fact, as you confirmed on this podcast. And you can just like follow that, right? Like you can be there day one and like know as much as anybody else.
Perfect. Well, Dan, appreciate you coming on. We know your time is valuable. It was awesome to get to chat this morning. We do have a bunch of questions from the community. Maybe we'll just fire them at you on Twitter and you can either ignore them and live your life or answer some of them. And
I'll catch them in between.
Perfect. All right. Sounds good.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Dan. Awesome. That was a ton of fun. Great little rapid fire. Appreciate Dan for coming on. We have a action-packed show from here. We've got Karma coming on for a little mint conditions segment. Started to dip our toes in the water talking about punks with Dan, but a lot of momentum in the NFT side of things. So
yeah, and I do want to cap off Dan because I know he was basically just on for 20 minutes, and a lot of people probably don't know him. But he was like 2012, started mining Bitcoin at like in the old firm that he was at. Joined Kraken, worked there for a while, ran Circle's trading desk from like 2014 to 2018, I want to say. Was just trading an insane amount of cryptos, like been around the block forever. And then also like there's a lot of people who have been in crypto for a very long time and they're just the weirdest people you'd ever meet. And then you like talk to Dan, he's like, dude, like you probably want a family and get a house. Like you want to live a normal life. Crypto's awesome. This is where we want to trade. But I think his early to crypto and success to common sense ratio is just the highest of anyone that I've met. So always good to get a breath of fresh air. He always has like the common sense, common man take on like, oh, well, these are what the treasury vehicles are. Like the second one of them opens up under NAV, they're dead. You're like, yeah, that actually probably is what happens.
And looking through, we got some pretty solid questions from the community. The time window with Dan was pretty short, so we didn't actually have a chance to ask those live on the air. However, we will be spinning for the community members who asked some pretty banger questions there.
Yeah, and also if you want a cheat code for engagement, I think Dan has like 160-ish thousand followers on Twitter. If you just type these questions and tweet them at him, like he answers a lot of random questions that are coming from like, it doesn't matter if you have like 100 followers, like he answers a lot of these questions. So you could probably bait this pretty large account into getting some alpha. And if he really likes your question, he'll like write out a longer thesis. And Dan's Twitter style is very much like for 2 months straight, he'll just send out like, have a great weekend, like nothing tweets. And then all of a sudden he'll be like, yeah, here are my thoughts on the market, and just like break down everything, and they'll get like 5,000 likes. It's like all the OGs are quoting like, this is a guy who's been trading this cycle the longest. So if you can bait him into one of those really good responses, you might end up getting like comment that has thousands of likes in your question. So fire him at him. He would love to see him. He loves the Monad community. He's been one of the earliest supporters. So
also
shout out to him.
fire up the clip machine. There were some good clips in there, especially that bit at the end where he's given advice to new crypto participants. I think that's like spot on.
Oh yeah.
The number one thing that you can actually do. And I kind of talk about this a lot. So probably kind of beating a dead horse here, but like, I think the people that come in with a very short-sighted mindset, and at times I've been guilty of this as well, but like if you come in with a short-sighted mindset and you're just trying to max extract for all intents and purposes, like you're going to miss out on some of the learning and growth opportunities that come with being very, very early to a nascent industry, a nascent project, a nascent vertical. So like if you're there when something is in the early innings, like definitely worth it to take the time to figure out like what's actually going on here, become some sort of subject matter expert in an area that you find interesting, because that's going to provide value for you long term.
Yeah. I would say Dan is maybe one of the easiest over 150,000 follower accounts to bait into retweeting you. If you clip something and send it out and tag him, like very high chance he's going to retweet you or quote tweet you. Like you will definitely get engagement on that. So there you go.
100%.
Crypto punks. We were talking NFTs. They have been resurging. I was sitting at dinner a couple days ago and my phone got 55 notifications in about 8 seconds. And I said, what the hell just happened? And I checked and I have the CryptoPunks bot on notifications, and I got 50 in a row because someone bought 50 of them.
Good sweep. That's a good, healthy sweep.
That's a $7 million buy. 50 punks are like over 100K.
Wow.
Not bad.
It's a lot of money on digital pictures. I don't know.
Honestly, the term sweep doesn't get thrown out too often anymore. That used to be like,
because they don't happen.
Right.
It's like the first real sweep we've seen in a long time.
I know. That was so fun though. Like when all you would see on Twitter is like sweep
the floor.
Sweep the floor. Somebody mop the floor.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing better. I mean, we're talking NFTs. Do we have Wag Me Gently?
Karma is here. Ready? We'll bring her on.
All right, let's bring on Karma. How's it going, Karma?
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me all right.
Loud and clear, GM. Welcome back.
Lovely.
Monad in the morning, mint conditions with the custom mug.
Yeah,
We've actually got
cool.
one of those in the background right here. We're mug.
Shout out
mug
Yoshi.
twinning.
Thank you so much. He made these himself. They are hand glazed. Absolutely beautiful work.
Wow. Karma, that's a hell of a battle station you got going there. Where are you calling out of?
My home.
There you go. Why not?
It is the battle station. It's mainnet mode.
Well, we have been running mint conditions basically due to popular demand. I think people just like hearing you talk about NFTs, and it kind of gets their vision going a little bit. You've been doing this before. It was cool though. The mint conditions has been a staple of the show for months now. And finally, we're starting to see some NFTs actually get swept. It feels like they're coming back. What are you seeing out there? What do you think about this?
Definitely. And we should bring up my presentation and I can kick it off because the very first slide is literally NFTs are back. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you were talking about the sweeping icon beforehand. I was actually having a discussion yesterday with someone. If we could chart the use of like the sweep icon on Twitter, and if you could overlay it onto the NFT volume, I would love to bet that it's like the curve is just like identical. Would love to do that one day, but let's see.
We need to get the quants on that.
Yes.
Quants to
There's
put a chart
definitely
of
nothing
KZ
better they should be doing right now.
We got a tight deadline with September 29.
So I hear.
Allegedly.
Definitely true. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But okay, let's have a look at this. So I mean, NFTs are back in general. This is just a screenshot of OpenSea front page. and everything on the 30-day like time scale, basically everything is up. If it's not up, something's definitely very profoundly wrong. But let's look at some standout things. I mean, Moonbirds are back, which is, I think no one had it on the 2025 bingo. And they got acquired not long ago by Orange Cap Games. Here's the PFP of Spencer, the CEO. And I think they have witnessed the largest digit growth when it comes to floor price out of all the collections recently. So pretty incredible. And I'm, for one, really excited to see what they will do with the collection, because the IP is super strong, but it had been what I would call mismanaged over the past years. So definitely a lot of incredible potential here. Let's see what we can cook up. Alpha. Okay, good. Let's go. Next, obviously, you guys have touched upon CryptoPunks, so I just want to add some numbers to that. And the sweep we saw on the punks was really pretty incredible. I even noted the numbers down, guys. So in total, it was 48 punks by one wallet. It was over 2,000 ETH in volume for that one sweep, which is equivalent to just above 8.5 million US dollars. And that obviously kicked off a huge run. So in total, on that one day, we saw 135 punk buys, which is, I think, like an 8,000% jump in volume to previous days.
Is there any context or data that we have as to why that happened? I assume we don't know who that was, what they were up to, right?
Yeah. So unless it surfaced very recently, I researched when it happened, and for around 24 hours afterwards, I was really hoping that there would be some kind of a treasury announcement. The ideal case scenario for this sweep would be a large museum or a large private collection coming public with the announcement that they have actually acquired these for a public collection. It would be a further step to legitimize punks as fine art in sort of more public holdings. But so far as I'm aware, no one has come forward. Maybe it's just another case of someone having made too much money and not what's better to do with money than buy art.
Do you remember the second half of 2021 when I think it was that fund Moonrock Capital would just come in and buy ungodly amounts of different NFTs, and that was everyone's signal, oh, this is big. Moonrock is buying. Those were the days, honestly.
Weren't they the ones that were giving it to celebrities too? And they were giving them to celebrities and the apes, and they were putting them on their PFPs. Was
potentially? I'm not sure, actually.
Do you remember that, Kevin?
What was it?
In 2021, when there was a company that was buying all the apes and then giving them to celebrities to put them as their PFPs, like Justin Bieber got one.
They had the actual, I forget, God, what was the name?
Was it Moonrock?
No, the
actual
foundation was giving out honoraries to Eminem, and they were creating customized ones to try to look like the person. I remember Ledger
for apes,
Bored Ape Yacht Club.
I thought they were just buying ones because they weren't looking.
Well, maybe two things were happening at the same time. There could have been a company doing that. I know they were doing the honoraries because I remember Ledger Status got an honorary because they wanted to get the big crypto Twitter people first to make them cool. And Ledger Status got his, and I think he sold it right away. I think for 1 ETH. And then they went to $500,000. And we were Ledger. At that point, he ran Flip Metrics, later renamed to Flip, and which was an NFT trading platform. We're dude, I don't know if you're the best NFT trader out there. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, he probably did flip that ape for a tractor or something.
Well, it was a good trade. The same trade that Dan was just talking about before this. Ledger has done perfectly from trading crypto and growing an internet persona to now just hanging out with his kids and living life in Alabama. He loves it there. God bless him.
God bless.
Yeah, and on the topic of degeneracy, I think MoonPay was also handling lots of celebrity purchases.
Maybe
like
it was
Jimmy
MoonPay.
Fallon. Yeah, Jimmy
I think it
Fallon at
was
some point got
MoonPay.
one.
MoonPay,
Yeah.
like the payment.
Yeah, they're like I think their whole goal was to try to onboard celebrities so that then
There's a way to fix this. We're an internet company. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but like now that we've like got all excited, like definitely fun. But honestly, my absolute favorite pump, I mean favorite, please don't cancel me, but like quote unquote favorite pump of this like past week was actually like the most random one. So like imagine finding out that Ozzy Osbourne died just by looking at the chart of a collection he helped design on OpenSea. Basically, this is CryptoBads, and he was the creative director on this collection. And basically, the second the announcement of his death hit the public news, that collection absolutely skyrocketed. And I know this might sound a little bit maybe untasty, but in a backwards Web3 way, I actually think this is Degens paying homage. Like I actually like that everybody grabbed one, as like a homage. I think this was like a pretty interesting thing to see.
It's definitely interesting. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Ozzy, great figurehead of the last 70 or so years.
Legend.
Yeah, total legend.
I saw this stat. He was a 2-time inductee into the Rock Hall. Like, how do you get inducted twice? Extreme.
Yeah,
he's an icon.
Once
He's
just wasn't enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I do think it's like pretty funny to picture him like at his kitchen table, like with an iPad out or something, like driving the creative direction of a NFT project. But
yeah, the bad is pretty funny too. Yeah. There's some good lore behind that. I do have the answer as well from the question we were just talking about. It was Yuga Labs, so it wasn't a separate foundation or fund that was doing this. Yuga Labs was just giving the NFTs to the people, but MoonPay also was a large supporting actor and was actually onboarding the celebrities so that they could use crypto. So it was a 2-for-1. Yuga Labs, they really ran it. Unprecedented levels.
I mean, that honestly is an interesting difference between this cycle and last cycle, just how many options there are to onboard fiat, how quickly you can get on chain. Much, much easier now than it was just a couple of years ago. And I think, people who have been in crypto, you don't really pay attention to stuff like that, but it does make a big difference in terms of like ability to bring on net new users.
Yep. And yeah, like I think we've actually gone like very, very long strides since last cycle. Like I remember the times when it genuinely took you like hours sitting down with a person to teach them how to download a wallet and even onboard onto chain. Like the on-ramping of funds used to take like really a while, especially if you didn't have a SEX account previously. But now it's like pretty easy. So yeah, go stable coins, go stable payments. Go Monad and Portal. But now I also wanted to welcome, we had like 2 really amazing weeks in terms of Monad NFT infrastructure. So I wanted to shout out 2 newcomers. And some of you already know them, like both Kingdomly and Scatter are NFT launchpads and marketplaces. And their approach I would describe as like indie approach. So they really try to launch with artists and work with them very, very closely. So definitely 2 teams to look out for. And they've both been very, very impressed with the reception and with the welcome that Nats have shown them. So yeah, continue giving them love and definitely check out the launches that we will be able to enjoy on these. The newest testnet mint of Chalkstar actually happened on Kingdomly. It was incredibly smooth, and Scatter has a few mints lined up as well. So, welcome.
Karma, I'm curious for your thoughts in general about like, artists, like kind of like traditional, more like Web2 mainstream artists, and their willingness to experiment with something like NFTs at this stage. It's interesting. Jessup and I were doing a street interview in New York yesterday, and we happened to chat with a designer who had spent some time in crypto working on doodles and also Top Shots. And, you know, basically her take was, nobody, like, NFTs are a great vehicle for artists to monetize, but nobody thus far has really cared enough to support artists and to actually, like, you know, use these things on chain. And I'm curious, like, do you see a shift happening where gradually more and more artists are coming into the space? And if not, I guess what's the biggest blocker?
Yeah, good question. I think it's a very, very complex topic, but it boils down to, I am deeply sorry that we have not kept up mandatory royalties up in the space. And obviously, like, it's free market. It's like wilderness on chain. So it's clear that if people can avoid paying something, they would. And over time, these royalties simply disappeared. I just wish, and it is wishful thinking, that they didn't. Because I actually think the notion of having continuous payments from your work, from secondary trading, secondary collecting, that being programmable on chain and being respected was the best and most intuitive argument for us to be onboarding artists, and something that many people innately connected with, because that's what's missing in the traditional art markets. So I think my point is that had we kept up royalties to their full extent, I think that onboarding of artists, the interest in on-chain art, would have been much, much greater today than it is. And we sort of, like, with the loss of royalties, we witnessed this, like, the big breaking point in that continuously growing curve of onboarding artists. So what I see will happen is, like, to me personally, NFTs are a groundbreaking technology, and we will see majority of, like, artistic expression come on chain over time, especially in a world where very, very soon you will not be able to distinguish between AI generated images and ones generated by actual humans. So tracking of provenance, tracking of human contributions are genuinely something that NFTs were made to do and are a natural fit in that vertical. So I'm really excited for that. I think that's the only direction that digital art and digital sharing of creativity will go into.
Yeah, I can't say much about this at all, but we do love to give alpha on Monad in the morning, and there's going to be likely some sort of announcement next week that the community can look out for that is related to what Karma was just talking about. And that is all I will say today.
Ooh. Exciting things are coming for sure. It's going to be just crazy rest of the year for us, I think. But yeah, let's speaking of exciting things on Monad. So this is sort of like a bigger initiative that I'm doing. Like, there are so many amazing NFT collections on Monad, and many of these actually released smaller collections on testnet that give you access to mainnet mints. But up until this point, there hasn't really been a place that aggregates all this knowledge. And before I even dive into showing you guys different collections, just bear in mind that it's actually incredibly easy to get scammed on testnet, because the majority of the collections, as soon as they are released, they get 1,000 different copycats. So one of the things you should definitely be looking out, all the research I'm showing you, I am going to be publishing it as a long thread later today, very likely. And in that thread, I will be including actually, like, addresses of each collection I'm speaking about. So address, for those of you who have never used it, like, when you are searching for something on an NFT marketplace, you don't just search by a name. You can also search by contract address, similar to meme coins. You know, like, you need a contract address to not buy the wrong one. Similar for NFTs. You can also just paste a contract address into the search box, and that will spit you out the right collection. Get into the habit of doing that, or at the very least, look out for verified check marks on different marketplaces in order not to get scammed. So this was just a large PSA. Sorry to lose time on this, but I consistently see people sweeping and buying the wrong collections. Don't do that.
No, I think that's a really good point that everyone should honestly, be aware of and look out for. Like, sure, it is a testnet, and the assets on testnet have no real world value, but there still are ways that you can get yourself into a less than ideal situation. And I think looking beyond that as well. There's going to be so much activity on mainnet. There's going to be so many NFT mints. Many of the IPs are, well known because they've activated the community on testnet. But there's also going to be a bunch of new collections that, we haven't even heard of yet, and that they don't even exist at present moment in time. And reflecting back on the NFT hype that we saw in 2021, 2022, there were a lot of people kind of making up reasons why other people should like buy into NFTs. And I think most of those reasons are pretty bad. Like, one of the most common ones is we just like the art, or the community's all vibes. But like, those things don't really stand the test of time, and what ends up happening is like, there's some issue along the way, and the collection doesn't perform well, and then all of a sudden everyone looks at it and is like, hey, maybe this art isn't actually that great. So I think like to just give some very broad advice for anyone looking to check out NFTs on Monad, or even more broadly, like the number one thing that you should probably look for is, who is the founder? What do they do in the space? How do they carry themselves? And what is like the vision or aspiration for this project? Because really what you're doing is ultimately betting on people. You're not betting on necessarily just like what art is the coolest. Like, you want to bet on a founder that's really going to put their heart and soul into that project and try and create something really great out of that IP over a long period of time. And if you look at the collections that have stood the test of time, I think Pudgy Penguins obviously gets brought up. It's one of the greatest examples. But you have a founder that's like, he's in it for crypto. He's going to be in the space, like, no matter what. He's put his money where his mouth is. And, that's obviously an easy example to look at and be like, wow, they have this amazing IP. They have all these partnerships. Like, they're doing so well. But like, ultimately that was, in a sense, predictable if you spent the time to research Luca, his background, his ambitions in the space. And that is in stark contrast from what we see at a lot of other NFT projects, where there is no plan. The founder has no, ambitions beyond minting the collection. And that's a pretty big difference. So would encourage everyone out there to do your own research and participate in communities where you believe in the founder's ability to execute on whatever they're trying to execute.
Yeah. And on that topic, so I'm actually writing an article right now, like, founder-led versus agency-led collections. And the idea about this article is very much like listing out the red and green flags to look out for when you're exploring new collections. But maybe a fun idea, Danny, would be to, on one of mint conditions, like slightly closer to mainnet, do a little crash course of like, what to look out for before you mint something, like how to recognize certain orange and red flags. And I could create a few sort of like hypothetical NFT collections, and then we can show on their example, as to not call anybody out, okay, what should you be looking out for? Because everybody who is listening to this right now, if you think the NFTs on testnet are crazy, you have absolutely no idea what's going to be happening in the first weeks of mainnet. And there's going to be both the legitimate people and the complete like ruggerinos from the bush popping up just to try and steal your mon away in the first days with degen mints. So definitely something we should collectively learn to avoid and just sharpen our senses.
Definitely. I mean, I can certainly tell people what not to look out for because I made all those mistakes in 2021.
You and me both. You and me both. It's almost like a rite of passage. Eventually you wake up, you look at your wallet, and you're like, okay.
Precisely.
But now let's look at and again, guys, don't rush to buy these. Some of these are also incredibly expensive. And wait for the thread with the breakdown of the exact collection, like contract addresses. That will be fun. I actually might vibe code an entire website that like allows you to like click and go to the exact address. But anyhow, let's look at some of the NFTs on testnet that I have confirmed with teams will give you access to their mints on mainnet. So let's start with Chalkstar. So there are 2 NFTs from Chalkstar giving you access. One is the Starlist Pass that gives you 1 mint on mainnet. And then there's the Super Starlist Pass. That's the one that was minted on Kingdomly recently, which gives you 2 guaranteed mints. Now, the Starlist Pass, I just couldn't find the price quick, but the Super Starlist Pass is actually at 18,000 MON. So a part of the thread that I will be putting out will be analyzing some of the prices and just comparing how the free market on testnet right now is pricing access to different collections. So this would be Chalkstar. Now Chalk, of course. How could there not be Chalk? And like to give Benja a taste of his own medicine about the misinformation, I briefly considered just putting some really wild claims here that he would then have to dispute. But I honestly just decided not to because I just don't think misinformation is my type of brand. But here's what's up. So Chalk Pass, the yellow one here to the left, that one is a guaranteed access to a mainnet mint. Last time I checked, I think the only one listed is at like 1 million MON, so it's like a gag listing, so it's difficult to get one. The Chalk Mystery Chest, I actually asked, I was told it is not confirmed whether or not it gives you access to mainnet mint. So don't go buying it if you really want a guaranteed mint. Only the Chalk Pass gives a guaranteed one. But I mean, the Chalk, like the Mystery Chest has to be good for something. So, possibly good to have it as well. Mondana baddies. The baddies. So baddies actually blessed us with 3 different ways to access mainnet mint already. There is Foggy, but if you are to buy a Foggy, only the Mondana Ice Trade will give you access. So look out for that. The Mondana Ice Trade is at like a floor price, or I think also 18,000 MON right now. So I think that the difference between the general Foggy floor and the Mondana Ice Trade floor is like 1000x. So look out for that. And then there's Mondana Baddie Eye, and then Mondana Eye Chain. The Eye Chain is animated, so you will see the difference between the 2. The Mondana Eye Chain in general is the most premium asset in the Mondana Baddies universe so far. And there's also some additional special utility that will be coming with it. But so far, Medusa hasn't said more, just that it's very special. So the chain is like the premium utility asset. Spiky. So there's Spikies, which give you access. And then there's Spikes Collection. And the Spikes Collection, again, unconfirmed. Maybe it's just for fun on testnet. But I just wanted to include it here because I knew people would be asking for it. Currently, the only confirmed NFT to give you access on mainnet is the Spikies. Scrumpy. Okay, so for Scrumpy, both of these give you access to mainnet mint. So either DN, which was a mint in cooperation with Fantasy Top, or the Scrumpets. However, and this is a big however, it's not, I put in here that like it gives you 1 mint on mainnet, but it's not confirmed yet, as in it will be 1 at least. Possibly one of these might be giving you more mints, but 1 at the very least confirmed. Monadverse. Here we also have 2. There is the Genesis Hatch, which is a very, very small supply that gives you a guaranteed access. Okay, sorry, just because I'm seeing like thousands of comments pop up here on the right. Do not go buy Foggies, guys, because this is what like half of the chat is indicating they're about to do right now. Do not go and sweep. I mean, go and sweep the Foggy floor, like they're super fun. But only the Mondana iTrade one will give you access to mainnet mint, okay? And then back to Monadverse. Momo, which is an upcoming mint, actually gives you mainnet access to 2 collections, to Monadverse and, oh my God, I'm blanking out on the second one. Someone help me. Should we do a spin? Okay, I'm gonna go Monadians. Thank you. I completely blanked. Sorry. So it's Monadverse and Monadians. Yeah. And by the way, Danny, like just interrupt me if at any point, like, I don't know, I just go over time or something.
No, Karma, we love it. Sorry, it wouldn't be Monad in the mornings if we weren't flipping around on the technical side. It takes a lot to get the production to look this clean. So no, keep ripping.
Okay, Meow Nads. Here we have also 2 different collections. So the OG pass gives you 2 guaranteed whitelists on mainnet, and for the Meow Nads NFT, you actually need multiple. So if you have 3 in the same wallet, again, in the same wallet, guys, that gives you 1 access. And I believe these stack. So if you have 6, you then have 2, etc. Okay, and now some of the collections that only have 1 way so far confirmed to access. We'll start with Silluminati. Here, it's actually super, super fun. So Silluminati have different Discord roles for you depending on how many of the testnet Tor NFTs you hold in one wallet. Because this NFT was like an open edition, you could mint, multiple. So it was pretty easy to acquire large sums of it, and it became a pretty fun game. People were just trying to get as many as possible. So if you have 1, it will be a first come, first serve on mainnet. If you have 10, it's a guaranteed one. And then they stack. I believe if you have like 50, then you have a special role in Discord and like, additional mints. So definitely look out for that. The DAX have DAX Fantasies NFT. It was minted super, super early in the testnet, like literally like first week or the second week of testnet. So it's a very, very OG NFT. Overnads have the Overnads pass, also a very early one. And the Molandax pass is for the Molandax. All the passes, so DAX and Overnads, give you 1 mainnet mint. The Molandax one gives you 2 guaranteed mints on mainnet. Okay, someone's laughing at me for saying very, very OG NFT. Yeah, I mean, honestly, rightfully so. That wasn't the most eloquent string of words. But back to the NFTs. Real NADs, another pass situation, and another stacking situation. If you have 1, you get a first come, first serve whitelist on mainnet. If you have 3 in the same wallet, you get 1 guaranteed one. 10K Squad has, this is another situation where it was a mint in collaboration with Fantasy Top as one of the Fantasy Top rewards. Also gives you 1 guaranteed. Lamao, same situation. And then Blanche Pass, if you have 3 in 1 wallet, gives you 1 mainnet access. And yeah, I think those were all the ones that I was able to confirm so far. I am not yet done with all of this. There's many, many more collections. And if you haven't seen a collection here that you're interested in, then I have a big ask. Go and bother the team of that collection, or even post yourself. I basically posted an ask not long ago on my Twitter, like, which collections give you access to mainnet mints? And all the ones that I could confirm or the official teams responded are in this presentation. If you know a collection that hasn't responded, hasn't confirmed something yet, would be really cool to have all that info in one place. So go comment or push them to comment, and I can add it to the final thread coming out, later today or tomorrow. Will be a pretty great resource for all of us to have.
Yeah, this is awesome, and it's like you say, Karma. It's a fantastic resource to be able to just like, quickly get good information. I think the natural inclination is to look for like recommendations or signal from this show, and I'm just gonna once again encourage everyone to do the opposite. Sure, we're providing via Karma some great research, some great info on what's going on the NFT side of things, but ultimately you, the community, are the ones that need to make the determinations as to where you want to spend your time and energy from a community perspective. And I think it really goes back to doubling down on founders and communities that you believe in and you think have that long-term vision. And I can't tell you that, Karma can't tell you that, Intern can't tell you that. So DYOR.
Yeah, people are asking about Chewy. I thought I included them, but if I skip the slide, sorry guys. They also have, give me just a second, I'm just gonna like DIY it live. So Chewy has also 2 ways to access the main mint, and it's the Chewy collection, like the mechas, gives you a first come first serve whitelist, and they also have an access pass, I believe. Sorry, mecha box, and the mecha box gives you a guaranteed one. So yeah, sorry for sort of like, I don't know, I must have like clicked wrong and skipped them, but definitely like their team actually responded and gave me a very good breakdown in the thread. So shout out for giving accurate information without having to be chased. And yeah, also like I love it that like I come here all excited and I show you like 200,000 different NFTs, and then poor Danny always has to do like time for the caveat, Dior, and the rest of the alphabet. This is your sad role.
Oh, what are you gonna do? I'm just giving my best advice.
Yep. Well,
it's not
honestly,
financial
like
advice because
certainly
there's no financial value to testnet tokens or any of the NFTs that exist on there.
Right. Exactly.
This is general person to person advice.
Yeah.
Look into things before you do things.
Please.
You can just do things, but at your own risk.
That's Karma. Karma's the other side.
You could just do research.
Just leap. You can just do diligence.
Yes.
Bang.
Hammer.
Okay.
That will be a clip. But that's it for me. That's it for mint conditions, quite frankly.
Let's see what the community's asking. Actually, on that subject, Mexi877, reoccurring asker of great questions, asks a great question. What else? What is the most effective way to do your own research when evaluating new NFT projects?
Ooh, great topic for discussion. Let's speed run this. So let's say I can actually walk you through how I evaluate collections when they reach out to me, because many collections will reach out, either they are interested to build on Monad or they've already been building on Monad and they reach out because they would like to request some, help, feedback, amplification, maybe some interact with us on Twitter for visibility. And obviously, it is a very, very difficult ask, because on one hand, I want to spotlight as many builders as possible. On the other, if I don't know that much about that person, I amplify what they're building and then they rug it, I will feel absolutely awful for having done that. So it is a very, very difficult balancing act. So let's walk through Karma's mental checklist. So what I do first is I always look at the founders. With NFT collections, quite frankly, there isn't really a product. There is an artwork, so you want to look at the artist, and then there's the community building. The community engagement is the product. And who is going to be creating that community engagement? The team. So who is the artist and who leads the team? Those are the 2 questions that you should be asking. If you see a collection and that collection is being very mysterious, you cannot really tell who is even a part of the team. They never spotlight their artist. It's, it's a big question mark who even made the art. Those are huge red flags to me. Why wouldn't the founders be proud of their collection. Why wouldn't the founders have their collection in their bio? Like if someone is a part of the team but doesn't have it in their bio, another red flag. Like, what are you afraid of? And again, back to the artist. Art, I know we're not all in it for the art. Let's not be the Lulu, but an art is an important part of an NFT collection. If your artist or whoever made your art is not a part of the team, which is sometimes perfectly fine, you know, maybe you've like outsourced it, you wanted a specific style, that's fine. But ideally, your artist is a part of your team and is championing what you're building. Or at the very least, you should make it known who made the art and be very upfront about it. So those are like the initial things I would be looking at. Would you agree with me, Danny?
Definitely.
Yeah, I just honestly like it's actually pretty similar to what we do when we look at any team, right? Like even building on Monad, like you look at the team first, like who's actually building this. Nothing different with NFTs.
Yeah, I think you can go like that's great, like basic coverage, and as much as you can, like going beyond that and actually learning, like I'm gonna double down on the founders here because I think it's so important. Last cycle we saw people with really like no sort of plan or no experience just going out and like launching an NFT collection because the market was hot, and like that really didn't work out well for anyone. So yeah, I mean, like as much as you can learn about a founder, what their experience is, and kind of piece together what their vision is, like that's going to be really important, I think, for like the longevity of a question. And obviously, you know, a lot of people in crypto like to remain anonymous. However, I think it is pretty good signal if a founder is willing to put themselves out there publicly and, you know, speak on a podcast and talk about their, or a live stream, speak about their vision, why they've created this NFT project, like what they ultimately want to accomplish with the community. Because like that's pretty hard to fake, right? Like, you know, you put your personal credibility behind something, like you go on a podcast, you talk about vision, like again, back to Luca and Pudgy Penguins. Like, I think that's the basis upon which a lot of people really built their conviction. Sure, you know, he wasn't even the original founder and the art was cool and people liked it, but for that collection to stand the test of time and you know, be the dominant NFT project for years on end, it takes someone who's really going to drive that vision forward, put themselves out there publicly, say, yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'll put my reputation on the line for it. And, you know, if someone's not willing to do that, you know, that doesn't mean the collection won't be successful, but it does pose the question, why?
Yeah. And I think that's another like interesting topic, right? Like there are levels to failure. There are levels to a rug and there are levels to fail. Or even better, like imagine like a gradient of color and it's like failure on one side and maybe it's like blue, and then rug on the other side and it's yellow. And there's like a gradient in between, with a lot of like in between colors. I think even if you can have NFT collections that are very well meaning, founded by OGs who have been building on testnet for months, if not years, who really wanted to bring good vibes and had some kind of a vision. Those collections can still fail brutally. In fact, to be perfectly honest with you, most of them will on a long enough time scale. But there is a very, very big difference between failure because, you know, maybe you bit off too much and more than you can chew. Maybe you're not cut out for it. Maybe your assumptions and your plans were just a bit too grandeur for what you can actually deliver. That is one side of the story. And then on the other side of the story are actual like serial NFT agencies that come onto a chain, pump out one half-baked collection after another, take your money, and like their direct marketing team members were like, in a few months will post a Rolex with hashtag blessed on their Twitter. So there's a spectrum to this, right? I know which side I would rather support. So just look at the founders, look at who's actually behind the project.
Yeah, and that applies well beyond NFTs as well. That could apply to a DeFi protocol or a SocialFi app. Like, it is one of the, I think, the learnings of our team at Monad Foundation, which is obvious when you break it down like this, but like, starting a business is a very challenging endeavor. And it's even more challenging in some respects to do so in a very nascent industry like crypto. And even if you have a really strong founder with a great idea, and a strong vision as well, there's a lot of odds that are still stacked against you. And it is really hard. And that's why I think there's so much turnover in the crypto space, because, a lot of people do have good intentions. They start a project, but then inevitably you realize just how challenging it is to sustain that momentum, to grow a user base. And yeah, I think for anyone looking to evaluate projects on Monad, like, look at what's happened in crypto historically and the ratio of how many projects are successful as opposed to how many projects ultimately launch. Big delta there.
Yeah.
There's a question in the chat that I think is a good question. Are there any, this is from Diego Voss, are there any collections or opportunities for whitelists that have like mini games or interactive whitelists to be a part of? Since like right now, it kind of feels gated. Like if you don't have enough testnet Mon to like participate in any of this, it's going to be kind of hard to catch up. Yeah, are there any collections where like newbies or people want to just grind or have fun trying to participate?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, and by the way, if you see me laughing while looking to the side, it's because people are going mental, wanting John W. Rich Kid to go on. Apparently he got 500 likes for something and we promised.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry, John.
Stick around and maybe you'll see him in 10 minutes when we spin the wheel, but I don't know. I think we might have to get to 10,000 viewers on the stream first. That might be a new rule because we're at 8,600. So if we get 1,400 more viewers, we'll bring John on. How about that?
And you know how rules go on Monad in the morning.
We make them up.
And we never break them.
Never.
We always follow the rules.
Well, John, call your mom, call your brothers. They better tune into the stream. I'm sure you can do it.
Get the whole population of Gary, Indiana tuning
That's
in.
not enough.
We'll be halfway to our goal.
Just
also,
grab
sub
the
on
mic.
Twitch. On Twitch. Help us
grab
out.
the mic at Wendy's. Just like, everybody, please go on Twitch. But sorry, what was the question? Oh yeah, like how to get why does it feel so gated and so unreachable? I mean, so there's two ways to answer this question. One could be like the brutal reality, like what you are seeing right now on testnet is a very good representation of what it will be on mainnet. So do not expect, that everybody is just going to hand you out things. The NFTs you are seeing now cost, 18,000 mon, only cost between 1 to 5 mon for the people who were whitelisted to mint. And they were whitelisted not because they were a part of some kind of a cabal, but because they were long-term community members or contributors. So I completely see where you're coming from, Diego, but it's actually a very, very good opportunity to face with what it will be to be on mainnet. Select a few projects for yourself that you really want to align yourself with, that you believe in long term. Start contributing, start being actual supporter, not just liking passively a few tweets here and there and then being angry that you don't get the whitelist, but try to contribute in a more deep way. And I'm sure there will be more ways for you to get whitelisted, because the mints and the NFTs I showed today, those are just one of the many, many ways. Majority of the NFT collections I've shown you today are between 100 to maybe 500 supply. So obviously for collections which will be thousands on mainnet, there have to be multiple other ways other than holding these to actually get whitelisted. So you just saw a tiny sliver of what is possible and a tiny sliver of how to get access. And then now you have different options. So for different collections, I know that they are running regular events in their Discords when they give out whitelists, or they run competitions, maybe like a fan art competition or something along these lines. So there's definitely many, many ways to get access. If I was an NFT founder today, I would really be looking at all contributions on testnet, and I would be giving out my NFT access to people who are standout contributors. For example, 2 weeks ago, we had winners of the NFT dev mission, and there were, I think, like in total, like 8 devs that contributed to the winning 6 builds. If I had an NFT collection, I would literally whitelist every single dev that won that mission, because those are the type of people that love building shit for NFTs. And if you chat up, and maybe you have a cool idea, and they just happen to have some time, they might even help you build something. So yeah, like I definitely see where you're coming from. I think many collections should be looking much more for real contributions versus just whitelists and raffles, etc., and giving it out to really cool artists, really cool devs, people who actually build is a fantastic way.
Definitely. Couple questions in the chat. The first one, it's going to be a quick answer, but I saw it come across, had to ask it on the show. It comes from Web3 Animesh. Why do the gray shirt guys always drink something? Thank you for the question.
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, thank you. It is morning time here. It is Monad in the morning, and we yap for 2 hours every Thursday morning. We need to be caffeinated to do so, and we need to be hydrated to do so. It would be a big challenge to last the entire Monad in the morning without having a little bit of water, a little bit of Celsius, or one of those nice little red juices that interns always.
You're not even wearing a gray shirt.
I love the red juices.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of very dark charcoal is my shirt. It looks black on the stream, but yeah, thanks for that enlightening question, Web3 Animesh. Now
on that question, actually, whenever I come to office, to like Monad office, I actually didn't know that Celsius is a caffeinated drink. I just thought it's like, I just thought it's like yummy, colorful, fizzy water. So I think the first time I was there, I drank like 3, and like in a row, I was just, this is so delicious. Like I don't know this drink. And I swear to God, I felt like I could see sounds. Like I was like this.
That reminds me actually of I think it was one of the first times I ever met Jussup. Back in,
where's this going?
You'll see in a second. You'll see in a second. So 2022 Solana Miami, Jussup was there, I was there, and there was some pretty beefed up security at the event. Like they had dudes that were like 6'5", 300 pounds, like jacked, like most intense security that I've ever seen at any event, honestly, let alone a crypto event. Definitely made you feel pretty safe, but all of the security guys at the entrance to the conference were drinking Liquid Death. And I had never heard of Liquid Death. I didn't know that it was water or sparkling water. It looked like an energy drink or a coffee, which is what I thought it was. And I thought these massive like security guys were just standing outside the venue all day, drinking these massive cans of coffee, just getting super, super jazzed up. But I learned by the end of the week, I was like, oh, that's just water with an interesting marketing spin. So I don't know. that the Celsius lore reminded me of that Liquid Death kind of similar situation.
What's hilarious about that though is you say like you felt safe, but that event ended in a bomb threat that shut it down early. So.
It did, but thankfully,
I feel like these two are connected. Like surely they already knew of the bomb threat, and that's the reason why there was so much security.
It honestly, it could be, or just heightened in general. But yeah, interesting anecdote from the earlier days of my
also
crypto participation.
Clearly there was some other fun things happen, because when you just said the direction you were going with this story, Yusuf got really panicked.
Well, yeah, that was an interesting conference for sure. We had a good time.
I was just curious where that was gonna go.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there was another question that I saw in the chat, which is probably a good one to leave off on. I don't know. Comes from Zin Kiddo. Shout out Zin Kiddo. What is and it's kind of back to the point we were just talking about. What is the best strategy for NFT creators to distribute whitelists? And I just want to really challenge NFT founders and NFT teams to not rush to get a ton of momentum and farming and marketing hype behind an NFT collection until that core community is built. Like there is a logical kind of step-by-step process through which you want to grow the community in the interest of having long-term activity, long-term success, and ultimately distributing the NFTs into the hands of those who are most deserving. And I think it's really easy to, be early in the stages of community building. You open up the Discord, a bunch of people come in, and you're throwing out whitelists and roles willy-nilly to anyone who's supporting you in the early stages. And of course, it's great to get that early support, but if you if you put those whitelists in the hands of the wrong contributors, those who are not actually going to move the needle to help the project succeed, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So, really evaluate what a contribution means to you and your community, and be very deliberate in the way that you give that out. Just because someone wrote a chat GPT thread, hyping up your project and sharing all the key info, sure, that's nice, but is that someone who really deserves a whitelist? It's up to you. But there's really valuable ways for people to contribute, and if you find the creatives and those who actually care about you and your community and what you're doing, then undoubtedly you'll ultimately be more successful.
Yep. And I'm really loving all the questions in the comments. Unfortunately, we will never have enough time to answer them all. I'm sorry. But feel free to tune in tomorrow to NFT, which is the Spaces, and then you can jump on stage and chat a little bit about anything you might want to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the distribution is, I feel like for every single thing we've ever discussed, we say this is one of the most important things, but distribution is actually the most important thing. It's like with a coin, you live and die by your distribution, who is your holders, especially at the start with an NFT project. NFTs are just so emotional and reactive. People just panic immediately if the floor price is going down, if they feel no one is really a long-term holder. So you definitely want to see your distribution as the foundation of where your collection is going to go. If the people you distributed to were just opportunistic, whitelist raffle hunters, those people are not going to hold your collection. They're not going to contribute in any way. They might not even show up to the mint. Consider that. Very often you feel like you've given out so many whitelists, but how many of those people will actually convert to minters is another question. So you should definitely have a very, very close look at who your main contributors are. And the more someone contributes and the more confident you are they will actually hold, the more mints they should receive. Yeah, that's rule of thumb.
It's a good rule of thumb indeed. I think it's high time we get on to the spins. This was some great banter on NFTs. We have a walking JPEG himself who's just come into the room. We promised if he got 500 likes on a tweet, he would appear on today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, John W. Rich Kid.
Oh my God. Boo. Boo.
Where am I supposed to go?
Oh, we didn't get it.
That right there is good.
All right. Welcome to Modern in the Morning.
They probably can't. You got to be close to a mic. I don't know if you want to come around the. Oh, there you go.
This is okay.
I don't know how long that cord is, but
Let's see how long this. All right. Welcome to Modern in the Morning. Glad everyone could be here with us today. Holy shit, I can't talk through this thing.
it sounds like you have a sock in your mouth.
It's like going. Hold on. All right.
Is there a Monad logo on that?
Yeah, this is a Monad Shiesty.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
How's the neck
crazy.
looking? This is listen. I've been promising meat reveal at 80K. This was a neck reveal. Okay, so we got a neck reveal today. Meat reveal's coming at 80K. Give me a follow. But yes, I tweeted yesterday at Danny Pipelines, and he said if I got 500 likes that I could come on Mana in the morning. Thankfully, I got 534 likes. So I'm here to save the show. I know Karma was just here spewing some NFT stuff, but it's actually time to get serious now. Okay,
Karma's still here, dude.
Well,
So rude.
that's terrible. That's just terrible. This is a so we should spin that wheel right about now.
She forgives you.
Thank you, Karma.
Thank you, Karma. Very, very kind. All right, John, we have the wheel.
Okay.
We do have an open slot on the wheel. I don't know if you want to add a prize or if you want to, like, if it lands on that spot, if you want to just make it up on the spot.
If it lands on that, let me think for like 2 seconds here. But if it lands on that spot, I'll think of a prize.
All right. We can get through a bunch of spins. First up is going to be Chico Arose _NAD.
What are you looking at?
What? Oh, I was trying to see my reflection in the shade. Here we go. That's not bad. All right. So am I supposed to spin this thing right about now?
Yeah, spin it up.
I'll spin it up. Who's this for?
This is for Chico Arose _NAD.
Chico
Wait.
Arose _NAD. Probably part of the Spanish nads with a name like Chico. Let's move this out of the way.
John,
That's my
before
computer
you do
where I
so,
do all my mysterious.
Can't hear you. Let's get. Is there? What? I'll relay Karma.
basically, I just wanted
what's
to say
Karma
bye-bye
saying?
to everybody because I need to jump off.
Oh, Karma's just saying bye to everybody.
Oh,
Karma, mint conditions, a smashing success as always. Thank you for being here. Look forward to having you back soon and appreciate all the wisdom, alpha, and info on the state of NFTs.
can I show my business card that I keep in my wallet real quick? Is that like, can we get a close up of this real quick?
Here, see that camera right there? Stand right there. Right there. You can't see it.
That's okay. We'll show it another time, but it is.
Is this a Wendy's gift card? With
No. It's a Wendy. Listen, that's my official badge for the Wendy's office.
All right, go ahead. Show it again, Danny.
Looks a lot like a gift
It's
card.
it's not a gift card. It's not a gift card. Listen, you've been.
If it's not a gift card, can I read out the number on stream?
Go for it.
No. Don't worry about it. All right. Let's spin this thing. I'm never gonna get invited on this show ever again. Okay.
That's what we said last time.
That is true.
Here, pull
The
this.
microphone is just blocking the entire wheel.
There we go. All right.
Unbelievable.
Ready? All right. 3.
Said 3. We're gonna be here all day.
Random testnet NFT.
All right, Chico Rose. Random NFT. John, don't go anywhere. We're spinning for Mexi877.
Mexi?
Fire up the wheel,
All right.
sir.
Mexi877, this is for you. God damn, that hurt my hand.
Unsurprising.
APAC follow. APAC follow.
Oh, Mexi getting the follow.
That's pretty cool.
From Monad_APAC. If you're not following Monad APAC, you definitely should be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, APAC's pretty cool. Big fan of APAC.
largest populated area
Yeah.
of the world. Massive community.
Yeah.
Great builders. Crypto adoption exploding. What's not
Yeah.
to love?
What state is APAC in?
Okay. Our next spin is
Okay.
going to be for
Okay.
Zin Kiddo.
Zen. All right, Zen Kiddo, this is for you. All right. I'm going to use my left hand this time. X Premium.
Wow. Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's an X Premium sub if you're not already an X Premium subscriber, because
Yes.
we can only gift it to people who are not. So that's that. We will
That's
follow
true.
up with you after the show, Zin Kiddo. If you win a prize, DM at Savant on Twitter, SSSAVANTTT. If you did not win a prize, do not DM anyone on Twitter about prizes. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Diego Voss.
Oh, Diego, this is it's truly an honor actually to spin for Diego. He's my guy. I love him. He is a Diego es tu comer caca de burro. I think he's gonna know what that means.
Okay.
All right.
All the cameras are that direction.
Oh, my facing.
Yeah,
oh.
you are just your back is entirely to the cameras.
Well, but you can, for the wheel, keep it there.
All right, hold on. I gotta there we go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, Diego, this is for you, man.
Dude, Diego said, "Get me a main follow," and look at what it.
Let's
dude,
go!
what? That was pretty crazy.
Was that supposed to be on the wheel? Someone told me last week we were supposed to take that one off the wheel.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
All right, we're counting it. The rules are the rules. Diego Voss getting the main follow. There is, I guess, the disclaimer on the main follow is it's not necessarily a permanent, perpetual follow. I will say that. Diego has the follow.
And look, Sovan just real quick with the sharing his X. We already got it though.
Good try. All right, next
Sorry,
one.
Sovan.
Web3 Animesh gets a spin for the very entertaining question: why do the gray shirt guys always drink something? Hopefully, Web3 Animesh, hopefully you learned something today on the show.
John, get off your phone.
Sorry, I'm ordering my lunch right now. All right.
This guy's unbelievable.
Wendy's is not that hard to order.
Listen, okay, it takes me a time. My order is like 3 bacon.
You literally, you're like, please, can I come on the show? Please, can I come on the show? And then you come on the show and you're ordering lunch and like facing the wall.
Listen, I am the guest of this show. Okay, I expect to be respected with the respect that I deserve.
Yeah, there's just a certain bar for guests that you need to meet, and right now you are well below it. So.
All right. Give me a second chance here. Okay?
All right, second chance. This one's for Web3 Animesh.
Oh, this is so much better. I fixed it. This is the worst shiesty I've ever worn in my entire life. It's going like deep inside my mouth right now. It's just
you wear a lot of shiesty.
I mean, like only usually like when I go, like I don't know. I'm not gonna answer that. I'm gonna plead the Fifth Amendment. All right. Here's a spin. This is for whomst?
This is for this is for Web3 Animesh.
Web3 Anime. This is for you.
Animesh.
Dude, we can't.
Main account block.
Oh.
One door closes, another door
Dastardly.
opens
All
for
right,
Diego.
so this is a chance for somebody to win.
It's Web3 Animesh is. Oh, I thought I saw it in the chat.
So Vaughn. Oh no, Suzuki. Suzuki was first.
All right. So Suzuki gets a spin.
Yep, go spin for Suzuki.
Mike Webb just.
Oh, gosh. Terrible.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah, put it on the screen.
Oh, also, so we're spinning for Sasuke. I just want to say real quick to everyone in the audience, I just tweeted meet reveal at 80K. So if you're on this show right now, the 14,000 people that are on this show, please go check that tweet at John W. Rich Kid. It's going to be an event greater than any other event in the history of the world. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
APAC
follow.
Suzuki. It's the
All
APAC
right.
follow.
That was all the questions that we got to with Karma. However, there were some good questions asked of Dan during the first half hour of the show. We didn't have time to actually ask them live. What? Do you want to? I was just going to go through and pick some questions. We encouraged everyone to ask Dan on Twitter, and if it's a good enough question, you'll probably get a response. However, I think it's worthy of a couple spins, so we should probably pick 3 questions.
So Karma dropped something in the private chat because she was primed for a trivia, and I think it could be fun to just do it.
Okay.
So everybody get ready to answer this question. But what are the 2 major NFT standards?
ERC 721.
Dude, you're not supposed to answer.
So that was you shouldn't have got like that. Everyone knows that one.
I assume this is EVM, right?
I don't know. You asking for the Solana? Solana would be a major EV or a major NFT standard.
Certainly.
Ethan said 721 and 1155, which is correct.
There you go. All right, hit it with the spin.
Come on, John.
Who we got? Ethan?
Yeah, right here.
All right, Ethan.
Ethan.
Not really.
No.
That's fine.
What kind of question is that?
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Can they still see me if I turn the cameras off?
All right. Who are we spinning for?
Ethan.
Ethan. All right.
Ethan from X.
Ethan from X. This is for
Ethan
you.
from X. Ethan from X.com.
All right. We got a Monad hat.
Oh,
That's
all
pretty
right.
good.
All
This
right.
thing right here.
All right, you
That's
got a
good.
Monad hat.
That's good. We like that. Ethan, DM at SSSAVANTTT on Twitter. If you DM Savant and you did not win a prize, you will be barred from future spin to wins. So don't do it.
Will personally come to your home.
Wow.
And we're not sure what will happen after that.
There are extreme cases. Extreme actions require extreme consequences. And it's not going to be every single person who sends a fake message to Savant that gets absolutely obliterated, but we'll pick at least a few. And some of those fake posters may regret it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. If it's a risk you're willing to take, go ahead and take it, but it's probably not going to be worth it.
If there's one thing everyone knows about the show, it's that we follow the rules. And one of the rules is some people that send fake messages to Savant get legitimately obliterated in real life.
Oh my goodness. I think we got a spin for Chaos asked a pretty good question that I think only Dan could really answer. But how is intern as an employee, and how proud of him is Dan now?
Oh, I know the answer to that one.
Extremely proud.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Very, very.
And as
proud.
an employee, pretty good.
Heck yeah. All right, this one's for Chaos Walker.
All right, step to the side, John. There we go. Look at that beautiful shot.
On that swag.
Oh, I feel
Chaos,
like Chaos.
Chaos
already-
has a lot of that. I mean,
My computer's down.
Chaos.
Yeah, Chaos, what do you want? What do you want, Chaos?
Yeah, I think that's a respin.
All right, let's do it again.
Chaos is gonna have a warehouse of Monad swag otherwise.
Pipeline VIP.
I think
He
He was the first VIP.
Chaos. You've been around too long. You got all the prizes, man.
Should we do one more spin?
Yeah.
Of
If it's
course.
on, like something that he already
We just ban him.
has.
Main follow.
Main account block?
What?
What is that?
What?
say?
What?
I think main account already follows Chaos, but I will double check.
And if he, I mean, that's what we said. If he already has it,
Yeah, if you get the main account follow, it is your responsibility to post at the standard that is deserving of that follow. So it's not a perpetual arrangement. You have to continue to earn it, because Monad main account doesn't follow a lot of people, and newcomers may stumble upon your account as a result. So you gotta uphold the standard.
we are 32 viewers away from hitting 10K.
Oof. Yes, we are.
We
We're
have-
gonna hit it.
Yeah, we have to hit that 10K. If we hit 10K, we'll do another spin, but only if we hit 10K.
I also just want to say that, excuse me, Dan, hope you don't mind
Yeah,
me
please-
coming in your
please,
personal
welcome,
space.
welcome.
I just want to say that the main account does follow me on Twitter. So I think that's a testament to the content that I put out every day, and the veracity of the educational Web3 AI pipeline driven content that I tweet every single day. Thank
Just
you.
Instantly devalued what Danny said.
Yeah, I think honestly there might have been a mistake somewhere along the road there, and those who push the follow button from main account will certainly be evaluating how deserving you are of keeping that follow. But for now, I guess John is followed by the Monad main account.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan passed away.
Oh my god,
Wow.
rip to a legend, dude.
Wow,
man.
Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan. It is a sad week for.
Oh,
For famous.
they are saying in the
generation
chat.
folks.
Yeah, I was gonna say for millennials.
They're saying in the chat that we haven't spun for anybody who's done any clipping. I think we
Oh,
need to
true.
do that because
Oh,
that's something we've kind of put off.
Yeah. Let's hammer him.
Q is up first.
Yeah.
Q.
Q
Has been
crushing.
It's not just about clipping. It's about finding good moments that make a good clip, starting that clip with a really good hook. You have 3 seconds at most to capture anyone's attention. And if someone is waffling at the beginning of a clip like I am right now, no one wants to watch that. You got to find those good moments, clip out the ums, the ahs, the dead space, put the action into a clip that's short, and Q has done an awesome job of that. Many others as well, but shout out Q, who's been all over the timeline lately. Let's spin it up for Q.
Main account. That's terrible.
I mean,
Get
the rules
smoked,
are the rules.
Q. The rules are the rules.
GGs.
You can't change them. We can, but those are the rules.
Yeah.
So, little lore on Q.
I can't do my.
It was his username was QMBICH, I think.
Oh,
And- yeah. And so
We made him change his
yeah,
name.
well, we didn't make him change his name. We do a live stream on Friday mornings for anybody that's trying to level up being a creator. And Q was in there, and Danny was like, Kumbabish? Like, I don't know what he said, and I was like, it's just Q. And then he went and changed his name on Twitter to It's Just Q.
Dude, that is my favorite
Yeah.
meta of that. Whenever we mispronounce someone's name and they just make it their name.
It's so awesome.
Yeah,
Such a
literally,
Q.
I am just Q
Sus.
now. Like, dude,
I'm
so
just
cool.
Q.
I met Q and he was actually at the Greece meetup in Athens earlier this month. He made a really cool like vlog for the whole thing after. So definitely go check out Q's account. It's pretty cool. I met him. We touched each other deeply and had a great time meeting each other. He's a nice guy.
What is Q's?
All
right, so-
Q.
Yeah. Chaos Walker, you were already followed by the main account. So then I actually went and blocked you, but then because I needed to re-follow because the rules are the rules, I had to actually actively follow. But my computer is dead. And so I can't get back to your account. I'm actually trying, I promise. So you are blocked, but I will follow you after the show and I can plug back in my computer. Yeah. And I am just Q. You just got followed.
Well,
Wait, blocked. Unfollowed and blocked.
And again, if you do win a prize, listen very closely because I will tell you who you need to get in touch with. It is at Savant, shout out Savant, legend, at Savant on Twitter. It is spelled at SSSAVANTTT. Shoot him a DM if you want a prize, and only if you actually want a prize. Savant will get you sorted. So if you want a prize either this week or a previous week and you're looking to collect it, Savant is the man to DM. And this is not Amazon Prime single day delivery. It may take us a couple days to get you your prize. We appreciate the patience. It's a lot of moving parts. We'll get you as soon as possible, but appreciate everyone who's won a prize hanging on. And if you do win, hit up Savant. He is your man.
Do we have any other Clippers? Because I would love to
Yes.
give the Clippers as many spins as possible because clipping is how the show grows.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bender. Bender's been crushing at the Droper on Twitter. Username Bender. This one is for you.
For Bender. I blocked Chaos.
X Premium.
X Premium coming to the
Premium.
Clipper. You know what? If you create clips of Monad in the Morning for Monad, you're probably going to get X Premium. It's just eventually going to happen.
I think Bender already has X Premium, but
Should
we
we
will
spin again?
We will. Yeah, let's spin again in case because we can't gift it if you already have it.
Also, we are past 10,000.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
10,000.
We got a blank one here.
Oh,
What is a blank one?
John has to make it up.
John, the chat is saying 50 push-ups.
I mean, I could give that a whirl if the chat wants 50 push-ups.
The chat wants it. I think you gotta
It's
give
up here.
it.
It's up here.
Yeah, the rules have changed. You have to do it on
On the table.
Yeah.
Okay. So should I just like get on the table?
And
Yes,
do
sir.
the push-ups.
This. Oh my god. Okay. All right. So just.
Whew, what
Just
is that?
start-
You just
smell?
do 50 of them.
All right. Well. Hold on. Oh my god.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
All right. Move that and move the drink for the love of God.
1, 2, 3.
Keep breathing, John. Keep breathing.
This is a good clip.
10,
Make sure to clip this.
11, 12.
I don't think they need reminders for this one.
Yeah. This is going to be all over eBay.
I love how the number's 50.
Yeah.
It's not
a
like-
lot of push-ups.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
20.
Yeah. Like 20 would be
Is anyone counting what he's
reasonable.
at?
26,
All right,
right?
that was 25. That's halfway. I'm taking a break.
Okay.
Feel like 10 seconds.
I mean, thank you for respecting the show and taking off your shoes for when getting on the counter.
Oh yeah, was that? Oh, I haven't. My shoes are like I didn't even wear them today.
Oh, okay.
So it was not respect. It was just
I just
negligence.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just figured, why wear shoes? I'm in New York City.
That's you're like you see all those guys on your way in that aren't wearing shoes. Why should you wear shoes?
They sit on the street without shirts on. Why can't I?
Yeah.
What?
Well, you could.
I
If you don't finish 50 push-ups, you might be soon. Actually, so.
All right. I'm just gonna start from 1 again. 1 to 25.
Okay. However you count in your head is up to you.
4.
I'm actually going to count backwards
5,
from 0 to
6,
-50.
7, 8.
15 more, John.
I'm counting multiples of 10 to 500.
17.
All right, hold on. We're stopping one more time.
All right, you got 7 left. That's it.
We can do this. I'm gonna get it count to 15 real quick.
In our heads, or
Oh yeah, in our heads. It's
okay.
fine.
Yep.
All right.
I like how there's instructed counting for whatever your mental counting model is.
Yeah.
And they're
can we
not-
get that bottom thing off the screen because everyone's just going to be literally blowing. And I'm trying to get
yeah.
only the winners.
All right. 7 more.
1,
13 more.
2,
Seven.
Oh, no,
3,
seven, yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7. John, you're very strong.
And with that, you know what time it is. It's
Final output. Apple.
Final Apple. It's Tunes' space. Be sure to check in. Every time he gets very low viewership on his space, he gets a little bit upset, but he never says it. You can just tell he's a little bit sad throughout the rest of the day. He starts bear posting L2s and all other types of things. So please join his space to make his day. Maybe contribute a little bit. Maybe make fun of his music choice a little bit. We got about 30 seconds left in the show. My computer is at this point unusable.
Just a PSA. We did some spins for the Clippers this week. Next week we got to do mega spins for the Clippers. So
Maybe the only way to spin.
ooh.
Well, maybe a couple other.
Well, we have a great guest for next week, so I think we're gonna want to take some community questions.
enormous guests next week.
Are you inviting me back on?
Absolutely not. The best part of next week is that John will not be here.
What
Uh,
what is I want to know what John's final alpha is. Final
Yes.
Apple.
All right. Listen, in life,
I would cut the stream.
there's 2 types of people, okay? There's winners, there's losers, there's thinkers, there's doers, and there's overachievers and underachievers, okay? And I want you people to be in the one column that's all the winners, okay? So in the community today, there's lots of things going on. There's meet reveals, there's